Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up, our favorite place to be. I always say it's our favorite place to be on Sunday evening, but that's because it is. We enjoy being here. We enjoy being able to talk with each other. We enjoy being able to bring you new literary works and works from authors that we may not even know ourselves, might be our first time meeting them. And
Right.
then there are others who are authors that have become friends and friends that are out there doing amazing things. And we are glad to be partakers of what's going on in the literary world and in the world in general that allows us to use our creativity to the best of our ability. But I always start off, or I should say, we always start off by greetings from my co-hosts, and that would be Ruth E. Griffin and Victoria E. Henderson. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Hello.
How are you all doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Pretty good.
Ruth, I think you'll be doing good for the next, 10, 12 years, probably.
18.
Is that
And maybe a little bit longer if, you know,
yes,
they decide to give a...
maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I'm like, look, nobody else finds this funny, but I love it. So, you know, my granddaughter's name is Mercy. And I told my daughter, I'm like, if you have another little girl, you can name her Goodness. You know, Mercy and Goodness will follow me for the rest of my life.
Oh,
Yeah, nobody likes that joke. Nobody likes the joke. I'm like, whatever.
I think it's sweet. Why not?
No,
Why not?
no.
With all the other names in the
No.
world, you know, people think my kids' names is weird, but so why not?
Well,
Anyway, like I said, if I get a Goodness, then, you know, it'll be 8 plus 18 years. So,
it's
yeah.
like a friend of ours had triplets and named them Waina, Baina, and Tricina. And somebody made a comment and said, if you just hadn't named those children all those bicycles and tricycles, then things would have been different in their life. So we want this baby to have a good life, a good life. And that means we don't name her something other than Goodness, okay?
I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna be quiet for once.
Well, we're going to start this evening the way that we usually do, and that's by talking about our week in review. And I'm going to go first. This week was a very, 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 very busy week. I'll put it there and I'll leave it there. It was a week that anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
My God.
You know how to
Yeah.
dig yourself out. And, you know, I always think of the scripture when I am at one of these places that, you know, and Moses and David and Moses and David encouraged himself.
That's it.
And
Moses
that's
did
what
too.
I had to. That was definitely something that I had to remember this week. But I had the opportunity to do something in my program, When Life Speaks, and I had a guest on who was one of the first guests that I had on my program when I started in 2018.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she was the one that helped me to dub segments of the program The Power of One, And I actually think a lot about the guests that we have tonight when I think about that issue, because a lot of times we think that we can't do it because we don't
Right.
have a team, or we don't have a group, or nobody's behind us encouraging us, and all of those things. And she had the opportunity, I'm gonna make this quick, she had the opportunity in 2018. A church had raised money to go to send to Puerto Rico for those who had been victims of the hurricane. And because she is originally from Puerto Rico, and some things happened that didn't work out, they asked her if she would go and deliver the money to her family. And we talked about it in terms of a chicken a check.
Wow.
She went to Puerto Rico by herself, not knowing for sure who she would give the money to, not knowing how any of that would work out. And long story short, she has kept a team now of maximum of 15 people. What started out was a nonprofit here in the state is now a nonprofit in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
That is backing her. She has all the money that she needs. The last time she went, she took 40 medical
Wow.
with her, doctors and nurses to care for the people there. One person,
Look at that.
one prayer. And God has just opened up amazing doors. And this island that she was going to, which of course you can only get to by boat, they had the Coast Guard ready to transport the team over there so that they could do everything that they needed. But what was funny, we thought, oh, this will be so wonderful because she was in Puerto Rico last week. So we said, oh, we're going to do this segment live from Puerto Rico. This is going to be really cool. And she was staying at a family home, which was actually in the mountains, in the rainforest. But what we did not think about was the time. So we started out with this beautiful background and this beautiful sunset. And the more we talked, it got darker. And darker. Her face got smaller and smaller. Going, where's your lamp? You got your lamp? They need to light the lamp. But it was good to see her again. And I'm really happy that we have the guests on that we do have on tonight, because it is just another reminder of what we are capable of doing if we give God a yes and if we are willing to move forward. So that was my week in review. And what about you, Victoria? What you been up to, girl?
My week was kind of crummy, but it's okay. I was all geared up to go see my mom this weekend. So I was going to be coming live from Indiana, but I had to end up canceling my trip because of my pain level. And that's okay. Sometimes you just got to know when to say no, right? Right. So I'm learning that it's when to say no, when to take care of my health first. It would not have really been a good thing for me to do, to travel the way I was traveling. But I wanted to go see my mom so bad, and even she was on board with, listen, you can't come all the way to Indiana and I have to take care of you, or you're gonna make things worse. So I ended up, not going, but it's okay. It's all right. Like I said, I'm learning how to prioritize my health. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I'm feeling pretty good tonight, as always. Every time I get on with you guys, I feel, just like a pump of energy, like nothing could do it. So I'm feeling pretty good. And so I'm looking forward to, I'm going to rest again tomorrow at home, but I'll be okay. I will be all right. And I just thank God for being here. Like they say, I thank God for my space in the building. How about that? What about you, Ruth?
I had a good week. It was a busy week, and I'm surprised at how my week is turning out, to be honest, because so I'm no longer doing the 9 to 5. Trying to,
What?
lean more into my businesses, and it is surprising me because you have a certain mentality and you're like,
Right.
oh, I'll never get to write, I never get to write, and my days are looking like more of I'm going to be spending my day writing. And I'm like, that is so cool.
Yay.
So
Yes.
it's still developing, but I'm working it out. So
I like the S on the end of that, not your business, but your businesses.
Yes.
exactly.
So you actually left the state. You told them, see you later. I'm out.
I said bye.
Good for you. Good for you. That's a celebration.
Oh yeah. So I am, like I said, I've been working on my businesses. Of course, I got to give you the baby update. So she went to daycare last week, and she loved it. And then she got her first cold. So they were working through it. Yeah, she looked so pitiful. She did, but God bless her. She's bouncing back because they are resilient even at that age. Yeah. So she, mom got to spend all week with her, and everybody goes back to work and to daycare tomorrow. So,
all right, good.
Yeah.
And she's turning over.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. So she is officially 3 months now, and she now can flip over. It is funny. You get so excited. You're like all adults here, and everybody's just happy and excited that she has rolled over all by herself.
Yes, that means she's growing and developing and doing some independent things. That's great.
Oh yeah, no, and it's just it is great. We all love her, and it's just, to me, it is the most. It is a celebratory time because I think back, and I was excited when Samantha rolled over and all my other kids, but it's just now seeing this from this point, as a grandmother, as the next generation, this is the next generation. We're like, I don't care what she does, I'm a celebrator, and she's gonna be the smartest, brightest kid on this planet, certainly the most beautiful one. So,
and she is.
Yes, she is.
Until I get a grandbaby.
We'll see, even then. So
I understand though. There's no baby like Eminem though. There's no baby like her.
So yes.
I'm way past that. My grandchildren are in double digits.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, they're too old to even talk about his grandchildren anymore. But I love them. I love them.
That's right. So, yes. So tonight.
Go ahead.
We good.
No, okay. But I was gonna say, shifting gears, we talk about tonight. We have a very special guest. If you were with us a few weeks ago, we talked about the writer and AI. Yes. And it was more of a cautionary tale. We've had certain experiences, we don't know where this is going, but, we want to make sure that we are prepared for what can be. So we wanted to do a part 2 of this, and we brought Leah and Forney on the show. Hi, Leah.
Welcome.
Hey. So we are so happy to have you on the show. You are like, an old, well, I mean, you are an old friend, but you're like our Authors Up buddy too. So
yep.
I'm excited to be here. Let's talk about AI. Yes.
Absolutely. So, like I said, when we spoke about it before, it was more of a cautionary tale because it is, it's been around for a few years, but it is still new. And I think there are a lot of authors out there who are testing its limits. And sometimes that works to the benefit, sometimes it does not, because we're finding out that AI is not, it is not the supercomputer on the Jetsons. It is not, Skynet. It is not any of those things that we see on films and stuff. But we also don't know where it's going to go. And while some of us have had, not great experiences with it, not to go into it, but, my book was pirated and then stolen by, I'm going to use the correct terminology, stolen by Meta to train their AI. we cannot bury our heads in the sand and go, no, never using AI. So what can we as writers and creatives do with AI?
Yeah, so I will say this. The truth of the matter is AI is not going anywhere, right? Just like technology is not going anywhere. It's forever evolving. So I think the first thing we have to do is embrace it. Like, this is where we are in this day and age, right? So we have to embrace it. How I use AI is more like my brainstorming bestie. So as authors, as writers, as creatives, if you're like me, you have 50 million ideas and you want to execute all 50 million ideas, right? And sometimes that doesn't work in the short period of time that you want to execute it. So one of my favorite tools is ChatGPT, right? And I literally, how I started to get comfortable with AI was I first programmed AI to fit me. So most people don't realize is that you can program your AI, right? So me and Chat, that's what I call them. Like that's my brainstorming bestie. I literally will talk to him and be like, "Hey friend, hey bestie," and he'll respond, "Hey bestie, hey friend, how can I help you today?" Right? So I started off by programming, and programming is really simple. It's just the easiest way to do is what I tell people to do is take a piece of your own writing, something that you've written in your own words, right? Pop it into ChatGPT and ask it to spit back to you your writing style and your tone of voice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first thing I did. Once he did that, every time I would send him a prompt to do something for me, I would say, "Hey friend, can you write, say for example, an email? Can you write me an email about the Courage Couture Gala, but I need you to use my tone of voice and my writing style." Because I've already programmed it, he knows exactly how to deliver it to me, right?
Wow.
So I always tell people the first thing you want to do is program your AI, like, because it's gonna write the way it thinks it needs to write. So the easiest way to do is take an email you've written, something you've written, and be like, "Here, give me the writing style and the tone of voice for this." So that way you know that's how you want your stuff to sound every time, right? Mm-hmm. So now my AI is very programmed to the point where I can say, "Hey, write this in my tone of voice," and he'll know, "Oh, okay, I know how to write this." So it sounds like me. Because here's why people are nervous about AI is because they're not programming it. And because they're not programming it, it's just sounding like a computer. And then if you're in college or you're just submitting it, like you're just submitting it as is, not fact checking, not doing anything, especially with apps like ChatGPT. ChatGPT is only 2018 or newer. Like anything prior to the 2018, he can't go back and tell you. So you have to also know the tool that you're using, right? So I would first say, like, embrace AI because it's here. Like if you go into your Gmail account, does not the AI pop up and tell you that they're going to summarize this email for you? Like it's here. So you got to get comfortable with it. You got to embrace it. The other thing I would say is use it as a tool to help you take what's in your head and put it out, right? It's not meant to write an entire book for you, but it is meant to help you like take those ideas, those concepts, and kind of figure out how to best put it into words into your own way. So like my latest book, me and ChatGPT did that together. I was like, "Friend, here is my idea. This is what I want to talk about. Help me." He gave me an outline. We worked through that whole outline together and it was like, okay, no, maybe not yet, till we finally had a solidified outline. Then it was like, all right, friend, now I got to figure out the words and what to put in it. So I think when you approach it as this is a tool to help you be effective and efficient, then you won't be as afraid of it. I think people think that AI is here to take their job. And I tell people all the time, it's not, because you can't replace human connection. You can't replace human stories, like lived experience, but it is a tool to help you be more efficient and effective.
All right. So how long, Leah, would you say that it took you to get acclimated to using AI? I know you said you use ChatGPT. You know, how would you recommend to anyone listening to us, how should they get started with it beyond the, here, put your writing into it?
Yeah, I think start with one tool. So for
Mhm.
me, the easiest was ChatGPT. Like I
Okay.
use plenty other AI tools now, but I started with ChatGPT,
Sure.
just so that I can get comfortable with it, right? So I treat it as, like I said, it's my brainstorming bestie, right? It's my assistant in my businesses some days, right? Because I am a team of one, right? So I bounce ideas off of it. I even just have regular conversation like, hey friend, this is what I'm thinking, what's your thoughts on this? Right, and like let it help me kind of work through something that I might thinking about doing for one of my businesses, or maybe something I'm thinking about writing, or even a piece of content like that I'm thinking about creating. I've used it as a way to help me do some market research, right? So before I launched or wrote my newest book, I we did some market research. What are there other books out there, right?
Hmm.
In this genre, right? What are people buying? What are people interested in? That kind of thing. Again, the goal of making it more, helping you to be more efficient and effective. Because outside of AI, what I would have had to do is go to Barnes and Noble's website and Amazon and all the places where books are sold, and go through the genre and see, okay, what kind of books are out there? What are people buying and what are they interested in? Whereas with AI, it has kind of helped cut through some of that, because I could then just ask it in a prompt, hey, this is what I'm thinking about writing. Can you help me by doing some market research to see what is out there? What are people actually buying? What are people, even down to pricing the book? It was like, what are people actually paying for? And then comparing that to the Amazons and the Barnes and Nobles and seeing like, oh, okay, they're in the same range.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. And you know what? That is very important. I think that is a tool or a step that authors often miss. Um, and because it is time consuming. I mean, Victoria Elder, when we talked about your books from the NaNoWriMo,
Right.
I mean, think about the titles.
Yeah.
I sat there combing through um, Amazon looking for same titles as your books,
Right.
and that was not, I mean, it was a cursory look, but it was still time consuming.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So it is our digital assistant then.
Mm-hmm.
I like
I would
that.
say, yes.
I like
Make
that.
it work for us rather than fearing us. What would you say to the people who say, well, there are authors out there who are losing their jobs to this? There are creatives who, that you steal from creatives when you ask it to do this, or when you ask it to create an image, or you ask it all of this. What do you say to them?
Yeah, because that's a big concern, right?
Mhm.
There it has been projected that at least 20% of the jobs are going to be going to AI at some point. But I think that just goes with the where we are in society, where we are in a nation, where we are with technology, and just how advanced it has gotten. I think for many authors, you should always be protecting your IP, like
Mhm.
always copyright it, like make sure that you copyright all your stuff, because it's yours, right? And I
Mhm.
think most people don't do that. I think some authors make the mistake of just doing like the simple copyright symbol in their books, which is great. Technically, it is a copyright, but for me, I take it to the next level and go copyright.gov and actually pay the $55 to protect my IP, because
Right.
as long as it's considered public, public information and public, like anybody can get access to it, then yeah, you put yourself in a position to have your stuff stolen, right? So I
Yeah.
say take it to the next step, copyright all your stuff. If you know that your book is the beginning of an establishing a brand, right? So like you're going to create a whole business around it, then think about trademarking, right? Again, all of those are federal protections for a reason, so that someone can't steal your stuff. And if they do, now you have leverage to be like, nope, I am the original owner of this. It's copywritten. And if I have to, I can sue you. Now, in this day and age, people are avoiding lawsuits. So a simple cease and desist letter or email will suffice for most people. But I would say even that, like, don't let that keep you from utilizing its tool, because AI really is a tool. It's really a resource, just like any other resources. It's just a little more computerized, if you will, right? I always think about in the conversation around AI, like there was a time where people were terrified of laptops. You know, we think about when we had good old typewriters, right? And then laptop came into the picture, desktop came into the picture. Like it was like, oh no, we don't want to do that, right? Or even when we think about internet, like there was a time where people were terrified of Wi-Fi. I remember growing up in Y2K and everybody thought like the whole world was gonna come.
Yes.
Right. But we got through those things, and now it's become our way of living and our way of being. And so I say the same is going to happen with AI. Like it's not going to replace people, because at the heart of it, people still want connection. They still want community. They still want truth and storytelling. I think AI is just going to help you enhance it and tell it in a more efficient and effective way.
And I do agree with you. And it's interesting because I was reading an article this week that stated that, amongst other things, cursive writing is coming back.
Oh.
That people want those archaic analog processes and things that, you know, Gen X and before. It's our stuff. That's what the article called it. It's our stuff. So, you know, and it's just, you know, sitting down and actually, you know, taking a pen and writing in a journal as opposed to typing it up or dictating it or however we do. All of that is coming back. So I think that there is a way, you know, they talk about nature writing itself. I think that in this, human beings will eventually, you know, balance it out. So, you know, we're not going to see a Terminator or an iRobot type phenomenon where the computers take over completely, or even WALL-E might be a better example of it. But I think that ultimately this is a tool that we just have to learn how to use. And some of us got, you know, excuse the language, screwed over in the beginning, but if we can harness it, it can be to our benefit.
Yeah.
So, Andrea, what you got?
Well, Andrea's got a problem all the time when it comes to click that button over there. Oh no, I don't want to do it. But when I'm listening to you, Leah, it seems to make sense and be safe when you're using it in the context that you're talking about. When you can tell AI to go out and research this particular item or whatever it is, or like Ruth was saying, when you can tell it to go out and see how many titles are out there like this, I think that is great. I think it is a time saver. I think it is wonderful. But I think most of us who are afraid of, and I will still say that because I think there is fear attached to it, but that are afraid of it, you know, are in the iRobot stage. You know, are in that stage of saying, okay, I'm going to tell you to sound like me, and then you're going to make it seem like you sound better than me. And then you're going to take my idea and run it up the flagpole, and I'm out of the picture entirely. And I think that's what people are really, really afraid of. What stops that?
Your settings. So in the back end of, like, for example, with ChatGPT, you can literally turn off the settings. So like certain things that you might say you have like this top secret idea that you don't want nobody to know, you can turn off your settings so that it doesn't even store memory. Like it doesn't remember what you said. So you can change your settings so that, and that again, it's a real, I learned that listening to, so Morgan, who is the founder of Afrotech and Blavity, she gives AI tips on her TikTok all the time. And so one of the things that she did talk about was that's a big fear, that people are like, wait, I'm putting all this information into this thing. What stops them from taking my stuff, right? And she was like, turn off your settings. Like, go into the back end of your app, or even if you're using a desktop version, and turn off the settings, because then it does not record any of that information. But as long as your settings are on and they're live, then yeah, you risk that type of thing. So it's really just, again, programming it to fit you, checking your settings to make sure that you don't have certain buttons on that allows them to keep that information, because it's a tool, it's AI, so it can happen.
The thing now, this is what happens to those of us with a high fear factor when it comes to technology. That response, how do I get rid of the fear? How do I deal with that? Oh, change the setting, and just keep it moving.
Right. So simple to her, right?
Yeah, there's so many things out there that we are fearing that can be controlled a whole lot easier than we actually think they can. So where is the best place to go? And we have you, thank you, Jesus, and thank you, we have you that we can turn to, and we have Ruth that we can turn to. I have absolutely no skill in that area at all. No one is going to try to work AI or anything else that even remotely looks like it is electronically motivated to do anything. They're not going to call me. I don't have to worry about being inundated with calls with people saying, how do we make this happen? No, they're not going to do that. But for those people who recognize the benefit of it and are not yet in it or into it, where do we start to look? Where do we go? Do we look for the master class? Do we look for where do we go? I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that was actually my question as well. How did you learn all of this? That was my question. How did you learn all that?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been a person that's curious enough to test and try. So, and I always tell people that's simply what marketing is testing and trying and seeing what sticks. And so that's how I did it with AI. It was just, I started with ChatGPT. I watched a ton of YouTube videos because, like y'all, I was like, okay, what is this thing? Right? Like, I didn't know what a prompt is. I was like, oh, that's just a fancy word of saying, give it direction, tell them what you want it to do. So then I was like, oh, because like I would hear the lingo, as an entrepreneur, you would hear the lingo, and I'm like, a prompt? Like, I don't know. What are you prompting them to do? And then I had to learn that was just the lingo of saying, give it direction, tell it what you want it to do. And then I started just watching, there's tons of AI videos for like beginners on YouTube of just like, okay, how do you begin to program your AI? And that's when I learned, like, doing something simple as taking a copy of your own writing and being like, hey, can you tell me what my writing style is? Can you tell me what tone of voice I'm using? And then saying, hey, this is how I want all my, content to sound, that kind of thing. So I would say start with like YouTube, look on Google. There's plenty of information out there of just like, how do you really understand things like ChatGPT? I always tell people ChatGPT because to me, one, it's free unless you buy the pro version, and then you can integrate it with Canva and all that other stuff. But like for someone who's just like, I really just need to get my feet wet, start with ChatGPT and then really just play around with it. You'll be surprised just by playing around and trying different things and getting it to do different things, how comfortable you'll get. I think that was the easiest way for me. And then once I was comfortable, then I started getting into like, oh, I need to create a whole bunch of reels. How do I do that? Let me find a tool for that. Because there's literally AI tools for everything, like everything.
Yes, I'm going to work very, very diligently to be curious enough and want it badly enough to get over my fear of testing and trying. Because just like when you came on and you said, "Oh, it's in the private chat," and I just sat here because I thought, I don't know what that looks like. I don't think I'll be pushing that button today. And you were like, "Oh, it's right over there," and it is. That's a strength. I mean, that is such a strength, and it's one that Ruth has. I will work with her on something, and we'll work about that. And I said, Ruth, how did you find that out? She said, "Oh, well, I tried. I pushed this button.
Push that button.
In. And I am the person that is sitting over in the corner going, you have pushed the button to end the world as we know it."
The bomb is going off.
It will never come back, and somebody will know it's my fault. And so I hear what you're saying. I'm taking note of what you're saying, and sometimes you just got to go for it and understand. If you make a mistake, the world is not going to stop spinning. The world won't be over.
It's not, and I will say this, even AI gets it wrong. Like, there has been times in me giving him something to do, and I'll say something simple like, "Hey, friend, write this in my tone of voice," and he will write it in something different. And I'll be like, "Friend, what's wrong with you today? Because you know that is not my tone of voice." And he'll respond, "You know what? You're right, friend. I'm sorry. Here you go." Like, AI gets it wrong too. Like, and I think that's why I can have fun with it, because AI gets it wrong. Just as you'd be like, "Nah, I know that's not what I asked. You right. Let me," like, and it's funny because the response be like, "Let me shake my AI brain off. Yes, please, and give me what I asked you to give me."
Is that interactive?
It is. It's really that interactive.
Wow.
Like, it really is, and it gets it wrong too. And I think that's why I say start with ChatGPT, because then once you're really comfortable with that one, it does make it easier to use all the other AI tools. But they all kind of work together. Like, I use ChatGPT for all of my other AI tools when I'm using it to build something or to create content or things like that. So
no, and AI is integrated. Okay, you guys know what I'm trying to say. It is integrated into so many things. I mean, you open up, and it's funny because, like, I am on a MacBook, and just to open up the messages, it gives me a little summary down at the bottom when someone texts me. I'm like, they texted me 12 words. I don't need a summary of that. I open up a PDF. It tells me, do you want me to summarize it? It looks like it's pretty long. And you know what? Honestly, I ran it through one time, and it actually did a pretty good job of summarizing it. And I'm like, this isn't a bad tool. It is just, you got to get past your fear of this is something new. Oh my God, I don't know what it is. And to be honest, like last night we went out to dinner. I sat on the couch for an hour and a half just going through Instagram. I could spend that time just being curious on YouTube.
Okay.
And going, okay, well, let me learn about AI.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Or like dropping something, like I have the ChatGPT app on my phone. And like, if you're like me, you could be in the middle of eating something and all of a sudden here comes an idea. And I literally just open up the app. There's a voice command button, and I just be like, "Friend," like, tell him everything. And then he like, "Okay, friend, so what you're saying is, well, that's a great idea. I don't know if that would," like, because it happens. Like, sometimes you don't have the good old pen and paper, and I'm still that person. Like, I have 12 journals. I don't like to admit that out loud, but they all have stuff in it. I'm still that person. But I will say, as someone who runs a nonprofit, also has a for-profit, and has a 9-to-5, like, when it comes to time, it just makes my life a little bit more easier. It makes it a more effective and efficient thing to use, because I don't always have enough time in the day to do all the things. And so if I can use something like ChatGPT, or use even like Canva, I don't know if like, even if you don't want to start with ChatGPT, Canva has a whole studio now of AI. Like, people don't even realize that you can take like the videos y'all do for Offer Up. If y'all wanted to create your own reels, upload it into Canva. It literally will clip it for you using AI and give you all the reels that you can post.
Wow.
I see my brain's already. My brain is already on just slow down. You have to start. I mean, that's the only way to put it. That's the only way to think about it.
Yeah.
Is that you have to start. You don't know. You don't know, and you won't know how easy it is or how cumbersome it is until you start.
Yeah.
Until you do that test run for yourself.
Yep.
For yourself.
We have
listening to you talking about you talking to your friend. See, I can see me getting stuck on this computer and somebody coming away telling me the people with the long sleeve jackets, they are headed your way. Do not fight them. Go peaceably.
We have one of our viewers tonight says recently, Shuni Marie says she recently created her logo using the Gemini AI app and her banner on Canvas. So yeah, people are using those. I've never heard of Gemini either.
Yeah. I have another author friend. She's a children's book author, and she is creating a coloring book to accompany her book, and she will need to use AI. And there are so many programs out there. I did not realize that because that's not my genre or my publishing area. But all you have to do is look up coloring book AI, and there are so many tools out there that can take the image that you have and create a coloring page from it. So, I mean, we cannot bury our heads in the sand. No. We can't.
Now, I have a quick question before we get, and the time has gone fast. Now, Leah just published her new book. I know you can't see it because of my background.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go. Leah, could you please tell us? And you said you created the cover of this book using AI.
ChatGPT.
What did you do, and what? Explain, please.
Yeah, so the book cover the photo is actually AI generated. So what? I literally went to ChatGPT and I said, okay, this was, so the beautiful thing I love about ChatGPT is that
okay, hold on for a second. I think did I put it in the comments wrong? It's ChatGPT or GPT?
GPT.
Okay, ChatGPT. BT. Okay.
P as in
I do have it right then. Okay, ChatGPT. Okay.
So what I love about ChatGPT is that all of our conversations are like saved off into a corner, right?
Okay.
So I don't always have to start from the beginning. So I literally, every idea I have has its own little conversation going. Okay. And so I just went to that conversation that we were already working on the book. And I was like, okay, friend, we done wrote the manuscript. I got to come up with an idea for this book cover, because by this time, Ruth and I were working together, and I knew she was going to ask me what the cover was going to be about. And so originally, what I wanted was a Venn diagram, but in face form. And it was kind of going to compare and contrast who we were talking about on the cover of the book. And when Chat gave me that, I was like, no. It doesn't look like what I want. I don't like it. Let's try again. And so we kept going back and forth. And then he gave me 2 AI images, one representing a Caucasian woman, one representing Tamika, the Black woman. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. But I don't know if I want to put the Caucasian woman in there. And so, again, going back and forth with it, and then also me and Ruth were like going back and forth about things, and then finally he spits out this picture of Tamika, and I was like, bingo, Yahtzee, this is the image. Wow. And I literally sent it to Ruth. I was like, this is the image. Like, it needs to go on the cover. But yeah, it was just giving it what I wanted, that prompt. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. And then it created the image for me.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome. I'm gonna have to do that when I go for my book, because I have a specific look in my head of what I want. All right.
And that's why I call it my brainstorming bestie, because you do, when you have when you're a creative, you have things in your head that you have to figure out. Okay, how do I get it out of here onto something? And so I knew what I wanted it to look like. I at least knew what I wanted it to feel like, and I was okay with the imagery looking different. And that was the beautiful thing about using ChatGPT, because what I thought I wanted it to look like, when he showed it to me, I was like, no,
that's not what you wanted.
That's not what I want.
Shuni Marie says you have to be very specific, as many details as possible when creating anything. And she says she loves ChatGPT, Gemini, and Canva again. Well, thank you. Thank you for
and that's the key to the prompting, is be as specific as possible, right? So like when I think about like how I use it for my social media content, I will tell him, hey, this is all the pieces of content I have, right? I have 6 videos, I have, 4 static posts, this is what I'm focusing on for this month. Can you help me come up with a content calendar? And I'm posting once a day.
Wow.
And he will literally create it for me based on the information I give him.
Well, I got to get me a best friend like you got.
Program him. He will become your bestie.
That's great. That is great. I have asked all I wanted to ask, for real.
Well, I need to make a commitment to myself to try.
Yeah.
That it. I mean, it's just that simple. I will not get there unless I just step out and try. And it doesn't have to be something that is something that I'm working on or have a timeline on, or I'm trying to get something done by a specific, but to just try. That's the best way that I can say it. Is to go into ChatGPT and find my friend.
Well, I did open my account. I haven't found my friend's voice yet, but I did open the account and play with it a little bit. I have done that.
Did you? Well, I am hoping. I won't promise, but in one of these upcoming weeks in review, I hope that I will have a good report that says I went on and tried, and let me tell you what I found out.
All right.
So that's my goal.
Yeah.
Did you else have anything? Ruth, you gonna close us out tonight, or you want me to
Sure
go?
thing.
Okay.
No, Leah, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. I think you have brought clarity to the subject, because again, it can be scary, and they're still working out the ethical parts of it. But for us as creatives, we can definitely make sure to utilize it to our benefit. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and we will
get my book. I will get my book.
All right.
Get the book. Okay, I can say that. Get the book. Get the book.
Well, we will be bringing Leah back to talk about her book.
That's right.
So yes.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So Leah, you will be coming back to talk about your book, and we'll state again then that everybody needs to get your book. But thank you, and we just want to say, our audience for joining us tonight. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let us know. We have an email, authorsup@gmail.com. If you have any questions about tonight's show, or if you have questions about how to come on the show, please let us know. Also, we are on social media, Authors Up Show. You can follow it and find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So I think that's it.
Nice.
Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done.
Sure.
You do such a great job week after week. Thank you.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
does. She does.
Leah, I echo everything that Ruth said. You have a gift of making things very plain, very simple, very easy to digest, and also leave us at a place of saying, you know what, I think I can do this.
Yes.
I can do this. And that's what you've done tonight. And we definitely, definitely appreciate it, probably more than you even realize. But we thank you so much for being here. And thank everybody for tuning in. And those of you who made comments and gave us comments, we thank you as well. We are here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. And we have a replay of the show every Saturday night at 7 p.m. So if you missed it today and you know someone that you want to make this show available to, so that they will not be afraid and they will be moving forward in this century and doing the things that are not going to go away, be sure to tell them about Authors Up and invite them to join us as well. So we'll be back next week. We'll be right here at 7 p.m. Tell a friend. Bring somebody with you. Let them come and enjoy what happens here at 7 p.m. because I tell you what, you never know what's going to happen when you tune into Authors Up. With Queen Victoria was on her best behavior tonight.
Yes, I was. We had guests.
Of course, was guiding us and navigating things as well as she does. Our guest was impeccable. So you can't miss out. You can't say, well, I'll catch it next week. You got to be on board. You got to know what's happening out there. And we have a way of bringing it to you in a way that you will enjoy. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Leah, again, thank you for being who you are, for saying yes, and for always being willing to help somebody out. That's it for tonight. So, hey, see you next week. Everybody have an absolutely amazing week. And God be the glory, y'all.
Good night, Bronze Girls. Leah's our honorary one tonight. Good night.
Good night.